Hello everyone. Welcome back again to our YouTube channel. Me, Professor Naresh Bosle, welcome you all. Today in this video, we will discuss about CBSE Class 9 Science topic Fundamental Unit of Life. So in this lesson, we will discuss about the cell, structure and function, division of cell, in all these topics. So let us start the discussion. What is cell and how it is discovered? See, every organism in this universe are made up of tiny basic structural unit called as a cell. When we are building in any building, so that time we need small rooms. That rooms again are made up of walls, and walls are made up of bricks. So in the same way, any organism is made up of small unit, and each small unit is called as a cell. These cells were firstly discovered by Robert Hooke in 1965. So he used his own design microscope and he observed a slice of cork that is obtained from the bark of the tree under the microscope, and he saw the structure resembling like a honeycomb. So that small compartments in that structure he named as a cell, and this is how cells are discovered. The cells are building block of an element that cannot be seen with the naked eyes, but to see these cells we need a microscope. Every living element is made up of numerous tiny cells. There are some single cell organisms as well that live on their own. So organisms can be classified into two categories, unicellular and multicellular organisms, depending upon number of cells present in their body. Later on, many scientists got involved and they studied about cells and they developed a cell theory. So it states that all organisms are made up of cell. The cell is a basic unit of life. Why it is basic unit? Because every organism is made up of cell, and all the function that organism perform are actually performed by the cells. And the third statement of cell theory is cells arise from pre-existing cell. So any new cell is always arise from the pre-existing cell. So let us see what is unicellular organism. The organism that are composed of single cell called as a unicellular organism. Now that single cell constitute the structure and the entire function of the organism. For example, the organisms like amoeba, a paramecium, a bacteria, chlamydomonas, they are single cell organisms. The other type of organism is multicellular organism. In multicellular organism, they are composed of many different cells. So in such type of organelles, there are a different group of cells to carry out different function. So here differentiation of work is done, or we can say division of labor is happen in the multicellular organism. For example, human beings are multicellular organism. Now let us discuss about what is structure of cell, how cells are formed, what are the internal structure of the cell, and different organelles that are present in the cell. Cells are made up of components called as a cell organelles. For example, our human body. In human body, different organ systems are present to carry out different functions. For example, we have digestive system, we have circulatory system, respiratory system. In the same manner, to carry out functions of cell, in the cell there are small components and each component is called as a cell organelle. A cell is capable to live and perform all its respective function because of the presence of these organelles. All cells have same organelles irrespective of the function and organisms they are found in. So in any kind of cell there is some little common structure. Some cells they have special type of components in there. For example, a plant cell they are autotrophs, so there are special organelles called as plastids that are present for the photosynthesis. But in general, all the cells will have a common basic structure. So what are the parts that appear in all cells in common is the cell wall, which is present in plant cell only, not in the animal cell. It is the additional structure in the plant cell. Plasma membrane, which is present in every cell. Then nucleus, this is also in every cell. Cytoplasm, the fluid matter that present in the cell is called cytoplasm. Endoplasmic reticulums, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, plastids are present in the plant cell, and the vacuoles. We will discuss these all components, organelles, one by one. So let us begin with the outermost covering in the plant cell and the second layer of the animal cell, outermost covering of animal cell and the second layer of plant cell, that is plasma membrane. The plasma membrane is outermost layer in the cell. It is outermost layer in animal cell. It is made up of proteins and lipid. It separates the content of cell from its external environment. So for example, we take the example of balloon. The membrane of balloon separate its internal structure from its external environment. It allows the material of some substances inside the cell and some substance outside the cell. So it also allows entry and exit of selective substances, and hence it is called as a selectively permeable membrane. Now this plasma membrane is flexible. So in some organisms like amoeba, the flexibility of plasma membrane allows to engulf food particles in its surrounding by forming a finger-like structures called as pseudopodia, and the process of engulfing food is called as a endocytosis. Now gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen also exchange through the uh, plasma membrane, and the process is called as a diffusion. So how they are exchanged? When there is a higher concentration region and lower concentration region, the substance always flow from higher concentration region to the lower concentration region, and that process is happening through the permeable membrane, and it is called as a diffusion. So when gases are exchanged, the process is named as diffusion. If this happens in case of water, when movement of water molecule happen from a region of higher concentration level to the region of lower concentration level, it is called as a osmosis. Again, depending upon the solute dissolved in water, the solutions are classified into three categories: the hypotonic solution, isotonic solution, and the hypertonic solution. If the amount of solute particles inside the cell are more than that of the outside cell, then the solution is called as a hypotonic solution. In case the water molecule moves inside cell through the plasma membrane and cell gains water and it swells. In second case, when amount of solute particle that present inside the cell and outside the cell are equal, so in this case the movement of water in and out of the cell is equal. So cell will overall no gain or no loss of water. Such a solution is called as isotonic solution, and in second case the size of the cell remains same. Third case, when the solute particles are higher in outer environment than the cell. So in such case, the inner water from the cell moves out of the cell and the cell shrinks. So in this case, the solution is called as a hypertonic solution. Now next structure that present in the plant cell is cell wall. The cell wall is found only in plant cell. It is the outermost layer which present outside the plasma membrane. It is made up of cellulose, and they are complex organic substance which provide structural support to the plant. Also, when cell loses water, that time the plasma membrane moves away from cell wall and cell shrinkage. So the shrinkage of cell is protected with the help of structure of the cell wall. The process of shrinking plasma membrane away from the cell wall is called as a plasmolysis. This happens when cell loses water. The next important organelle or part of the cell, component of the cell is cytoplasm. This is the fluid matrix, thick solution composed of water, salt, protein that fills uh, the cell is called as a cytoplasm. So it is present between plasma membrane and the nucleus, except cell organelles. It surrounded by all cell membrane. So from outside it is surrounded by cell membrane. From inside it is all cell organelles, and at the center we have nucleus. The next important organelle that present in the cell is a nucleus. So it is a small round membrane bound structure found in the cell. The fluid inside nucleus surrounded by nuclear membrane, and that fluid is called as a nucleoplasm. It controls cells growth, reproduction, because it contains cells hereditary information. The nucleus is covered with the dual layer. It is double membrane organelle, and they are called as a nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane contains pores due to which material can travel both inside the cell and outside the cell to the cytoplasm. The nucleus contains some thread-like structure called as a chromatin material. So this chromatin material exists when a cell is during a resting stage. But when cell is about to divide, that chromatin material get organized to form a chromosome. This chromatin material is made up of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, RNA, ribonucleic acid, and proteins. These DNA, RNA, and protein consist of hereditary information, and when cell is about to divide, that chromatin material get organized like thread-like structure, and this is called as a chromosome. They are formed when chromatin condense together when the cell is about to divide. Chromosome contain DNA and nuclear proteins. So chromosome is made up of DNA and nuclear proteins. DNA is a deoxyribonucleic acid. They contain the hereditary information for inheritance of features from parent to the offspring as DNA. So whatever the hereditary information, it is present in the nucleus. In nucleus particularly, it is present in chromatin material and again in the form of DNA. The DNA molecule contain information for construction and organization of the cell. The genes are functional segment of the DNA. So where are the genes present? Genes are present as a functional part of DNA. DNA is present in the chromosome, and chromosome present in the nucleus of the cell. So all hereditary information when cell is getting divided in two cells, so that all information about its structure, function, shape, size is present in the nucleus. Human body has 23 pairs of chromosomes, and out of that last 23rd pair is called sex chromosome. In a boy child, we have a pair of X chromosome and a Y chromosome. In girl child, there is a pair of both XX chromosome. The nucleus of cell divides itself to give rise to the new offspring. The genes present in the chromosome decide the hereditary characteristics. So nucleus is also called as a brain of the cell. It controls all the activities as well as the hereditary information for the inheritance. The next cell organelle is endoplasmic reticulum. The large network of membranous sheet and tubes is called as a endoplasmic reticulum. So they are found generally near the nucleus. They are filled with fluid and carries material throughout the cell, due to which it is also called as a transport system. So जो सेल की ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम है वो है एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम. It transport all the materials from cell to the cytoplasm and other organelles. It transport material between region of cytoplasm or between the cytoplasm and nucleus. It also provides a surface for some biochemical activities of the cell. So this is how endoplasmic reticulum see under the microscope. It can classified into two categories. One is rough endoplasmic reticulum and other is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum, appear rough under microscope because there is a presence of ribosomes on its surface. The second, smooth endoplasmic reticulum SER, appears smooth because of absence of ribosomes on its surface. So it also manufactures fat molecules or lipids that are important for proper functioning of the cell. The next is ribosomes. The ribosomes manufacture the protein which are then transported throughout the cell by endoplasmic reticulum. So ribosomes are present on rough endoplasmic reticulum. They manufacture protein. Because they manufacture protein, they are also known as protein factory of the cell. So we know now come to know that ribosomes are protein factory of the cell. The next important organelle is Golgi apparatus. The stacks of flattened membranous vesicle are called as a Golgi apparatus. The stack-like structure also called as a cistern. It is basically stores, packs and modifies the product of vesicles. It temporarily stores proteins and moves out cell through the vesicles of Golgi apparatus. It packs, transport the material synthesized in endoplasmic reticulum to the different target inside and outside the cell. The next organelle is lysosomes. Lysosomes are sac-like structure in a cell surrounded by membrane are called as a lysosomes. They keep the cell clean by digesting and breaking outside material like bacteria, food entering the cell, worn out cell organelles into small pieces. So they actually clean the cell with strong digestive enzymes that are present in the lysosomes. But sometimes what happens because of any physical damage, cell get damaged. In that case, lysosome may burst and the enzymes present in the lysosome can digest its own cell. So that's why it is also known as suicidal bag of the cell. Why lysosomes called suicidal bag? Because lysosome consists very strong digestive enzymes, and if in case cell has any physical damage and that time lysosome may burst. So the enzymes that present in the lysosome digest its own cell. Therefore it is called as a suicidal bag of the cell. The next organelle that present in the cell is mitochondria, and it is very important organelle as it produces energy for the cell activities. The mitochondria, they are tube-like organs that provide energy to the cell in the form of ATP. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. They perform various chemical activities for sustenance of life. The mitochondria, therefore known as powerhouse of the cell. It provides energy in the form of ATP. ATP is also known as energy currency of the cell. It also surrounded by two membranes. Mitochondria is surrounded by two membranes. The outer membrane is porous, whereas the inner membrane has deep folds. Why they have deep folds? Because they provide a large surface area to perform chemical reaction required for generation of ATP. As the inner membrane is deeply folded, so it gives large surface area on which different chemical reactions are performed for generation of adenosine triphosphate ATP. The jelly like substance that present in the space enclosed by inner membrane is called as a matrix. Mitochondria have their own DNA and ribosomes. So own DNA is present in the nucleus. Then other organelle is mitochondria. So they can synthesize some of proteins by themselves. The next organelle that present in the plant cell is plastid. So plastid, they are double membrane again, membrane bound organelle found in the plant cell. They are found in the cytoplasm. Plant make and store food in the plastids. They have their own DNA and ribosomes. So there are two organelles other than nucleus which possess their own DNA and ribosomes. They are mitochondria and plastids. So therefore they are called as strange organelles. So which are the strange organelles? Mitochondria and plastids, because they possess its own DNA and ribosomes. Some of the proteins required they can produce themselves. The plastids are classified in two categories, the chromoplast and the leucoplast. Chromoplast are color plastids, leucoplast are white or colorless plastids. The chloroplast, which contain green color photosynthetic pigment, is called as a chloroplast. They are type of plastid which contain green pigment called as chlorophyll, and these pigment are necessary for the process of photosynthesis. So how we studied that plant perform process of photosynthesis to produce their own food by taking in carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. With the help of chlorophyll pigment, they produce their own food. The next plastids are leucoplasts. They are colorless or white plastids. They store starch, oils and protein granules. Now depending on whether the cell has a developed nucleus or a primitive nucleus, the cells are classified in two categories, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Pro means primitive nucleus, eukaryotic means well developed nucleus. So we will see differences one by one. In prokaryotic cell, nuclear membrane is absent. So we do not have a nucleus, membrane bound nucleus. It is floating as a nucleic acid in the cytoplasm. But in eukaryotic cell, we have nuclear membrane present. In prokaryotic cell, membrane bound cell organelle are mostly absent. In eukaryotic cell, membrane bound cell organelles are present. So when cell organelles are absent, it means mitochondria, Golgi apparatus and other organelles are absent, but that are present in the eukaryotic cell. In prokaryotic cell, region bounded by nuclear membrane contain DNA and proteins. In eukaryotics, undefined region with nucleic acid is called as a nucleoid, which is present in the prokaryotic cell. Here the concentration of DNA is low. Concentration of DNA is found in the nucleus, plastids and mitochondria. The sexual reproduction is absent in the prokaryotic cell. Sexual reproduction generally present in the eukaryotic cell. Example, bacteria cell is a prokaryotic cell, whereas animal cell or plant cell, they are well developed, they are eukaryotic cell. The next is vacuole. So the vacuoles are the storage sacs filled, they found in the cytoplasm. Mostly in animal cell, they are of small size and large in number. In animals, plant cell, a large size and single. In animal cell, a small size or sometimes it may be absent. It provides a turgidity and rigidity to the plant cell. वैक्यूल्स के वजह से प्लांट सेल को टर्जिडिटी और रिजिडिटी मिलती है. It acts as a storage sac of cell. It stores food, water, sugar, minerals and waste product of the cell. The last topic of this chapter is cell division. So when a cell divide to form two new daughter cells, it is called as a cell division. So it is reproduction of cell, and there are two methods of reproduction of cell. One is mitosis and second is meiosis. So we will see this in chapter. A mitosis, a single cell divide to form two new daughter cell with same number of chromosomes. The process is called as a mitosis. In meiosis, a single cell gets divided into two cells and afterwards divided into four cells with half number of chromosome. The process is called as a meiosis. So when mitosis is happening, it happens generally in reproduction, and meiosis is happening in the growth and development of the organism. So I hope what we discuss is very clear to you. Today in this lecture we discuss about, let us summarize everything. We discuss about how cell is discovered. It is discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665 by his own design microscope. All organisms are made up of cell. Cell is a basic structural and functional unit of life. All new cells are arise from pre-existing cell. Depending on number of cells, organisms are classified as unicellular or multicellular organism. Then in structure of cell, there are few basic common parts: cell wall, plasma membrane or cell membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, plastid and vacuoles. We discuss each of them uh, in details, and at last we studied about cell division. There are two types of cell division: mitosis and meiosis. So this is all about what we studied. I will give the link of notes below the video. Thanks for watching. We will meet again with a new such useful video. Till then, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.